What's really good? Like, share, subscribe. Let's get into this, man. Let's talk about it. Again, guys, you got to understand Vince McMahon, he has shown himself a worker of iniquity. Now, in worker of iniquity, there's so many scriptures, but one I'm going to focus on is Proverbs 10:29. And again, you guys can read it for yourself because you have to. You got to get the scripture in your spirit. So I can read it again to you, but you have to read it for yourself so you ingest it. That's why I tell you the scripture things for people that just showed up that may be new, so you understand why I'm giving you the scripture and not reading it. Proverbs 10:29, and again, I paraphrase it. So when you read it, you read for your understanding. You know, God gives you understanding as you read. So Proverbs 10:29, also Matthew, these are off the head. Matthew 7, chapter, we're looking at Matthew chapter 7, I think the 23rd verse. And, you know, it's like the 21st through the 23rd, something like that. Understand workers of iniquity. They bring destruction to them own self. Vince McMahon now has his career ended. He got demoted as CEO. He had to step down now. He lost everything he had because of his decision of these things he's in. Now, listen, if he did not do anything, he would have just laughed at them. But he obviously is guilty of something if he had to step down. So, and it's nasty. Like what they're talking about, this is literally them talking about him dealing with them in some ways, making slaves out of these superstars. So they treat them like sex slaves in some way, like they're saying. This is what they're alleging that he did with the men, and we're talking about the men and the women. Like he had no partition between. He just said one and the same. I'm me. Everybody serves me. And if we think of the career he's had, we've seen him interact with the wrestlers, wrestling these different matches. You got to understand and look at the character. Yo, when you're looking at a person, stop listening to their mouth. One thing about people you got to understand, they're going to run their mouth and tell you things that make sense for them to look a certain way. Test the spirits. Understand, you have to. This is why you got to be connected with God. Let me explain this. If you're not connected with God, you're going to get all type of guys who are liars, doing all type of things around you. But that's why you just go to God, because God visits them. God puts them in derision. God puts them in their situation. Don't look to get vengeance. Look at this. Vince McMahon, you've been there for decades and decades. You've been a staple in the wrestling community, especially your name itself speaks itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand what time it is. You're dealing with loudmouth, ignorant people who want to do nothing that is godly. Nothing. They don't even know who Christ is. They don't know him. See, that's the thing. Most people around us don't know who Jesus is. They don't seek him out. They don't even know why. They're still, as adults, questioning God. Why was I born? Why am I here? They still haven't figured this out. This is why I'm telling you, you need to be connected with God and stay invested in your own soul and your own direction. A lot of people are headed to hell, full speed ahead to hell, and they could care less, but they're going to care when they get there. I'm telling you, when they're burning and their skin's hanging and they're getting beaten by demons, raped by like legit, this is what's going on, okay? They're going to care then. They're going to care because they should have read it. If you read, it tells you in scripture, everything that happens to you, the moment you say to yourself as a man or woman, I don't believe in Jesus. I'm going to serve this. Go, get ready for hell. That's all. That's scriptural. Get ready for hell. That's simple. It's written. That's how it's read. Get ready, prepare for hell, fire, okay? For eternity. There's no end to it. Once you get there, you're in there. Just like prison. Say a person's going in for life. You're going in for life because God can't do nothing with you. You're honestly, God sees you as a mistake. He says to himself, like, yeah, I created them. Yeah, they never did what they're supposed to do. All of us have a mission for God. You've never done what he wanted you to do. So God discards you. He discards you. The same way these lame dudes call themselves discarding someone or discarding a friend, kicking them away. I mean, these guys, because they have a certain mindset, that's the way God discards you because of what you think and do, because he can't do anything with you. What can he do for you? He can't do anything because you're godless. You have nothing to do with him. You're not doing his will. If you're not doing the will of God by per Ephesians, the entire book tells you the will of God, all of it. If you're not doing anything within that, get prepared for hell. Just sit down, think to yourself, and say, I can't wait to go to hell, because that's where you're going. Period. You're gonna burn. You're gonna get beaten. You're gonna like. And here's what people think. They're like, oh, it's just hell. It's gonna be a party. We'll all be there. No, it's not. Listen to me. The conditions there. you're gonna be thinking to yourself, how am I still alive? That's what you're gonna ask yourself, because it's gonna be so horrendous, because you're in spirit. Understand, your spirit is then. So you feel everything even more so. So the way you feel, pinch yourself, you'll feel that 1,000 times worse, which means you'll be in pure agony after you do that. That's how painful and real the spirit world is when you leave this earth. That's why God tells you, do not squander your time on this earth. People squander it. They play around. They're like, well, what else can I do to have fun? What else can I do? What else can I? Listen to me. God blesses you to do everything you want, to get everything you need, to do all these things consecutively, and leads you this way when you serve him. If you don't serve him, you're not going to get a good ending. He gives you the good ending. You're going to get the wicked ending, period. Vince McMahon does not understand this. He's literally in derision up there, abusing these people allegedly. And listen, Ronda Rousey, listen, he has an article on him. Read the article I'm gonna have below. Ronda Rousey herself has just came out and spoke, and this is the best part about it, because now God has allowed someone else to come up, not only backing what's been put. Now we know for sure he's involved, because she hasn't just said, no, he didn't do it. She said, listen, he'll still have power because of this person, and named the dude. So listen, she's saying Vince McMahon still has a puppet over here and named the guy, and his name's like Privy or something. I stopped watching WWE years ago. I was a kid watching that. I've been left that alone. I'm shocked dudes are still watching, and I'm confused. That's the next generation's thing. But listen, this is what I'm telling you. This is why you must test spirits, because the spirits that exist that do not want nothing to do with God, people are in derision and do wickedness as just to their flesh, because they live in the flesh. They're going to die in their flesh. We're all going to die, but they're going to die in the flesh, meaning that their decision and their lust are going to be the very ending of them, because they lust after everything. Oh, I want to go do this. I think I need to do this. If you don't have any type of perception or understanding of yourself or God, you're not going to make the right decisions when time comes. You're not. You just won't. And I'm telling you, the scripture I named to you, read it all in full, especially the Matthew one that I told you, Matthew chapter 7. Matter of fact, go from chapter 6 to 7. It all connects. Then the Proverbs 10, it all connects. If you guys have not read these books in full, you need to read it. That is why people walking around are just walking around lazy, lolly-dolly, like whatever. This is life, because they don't read and they don't know their purpose. Like what's laughable to me is when adults still don't know their purpose. Like they'll be old, not know their purpose in life. And the fact is, sadly, you missed it. If you're old and you haven't seeked out God, you probably miss your purpose. But you better find it now, because I'm telling you, if you die without doing what God sent you to do, in hell, you will uplift your eyes. That is a fact. And it's not a comeback. It's not a momentary thing. It's not a party. You're not near people. You're literally in a place, in a prison, imprisonment, being tortured, in torment, constant torment for eternity. You can't put a cap on eternity. Eternity is never ending. Listen, that's why I'm talking to you guys like this. It's so serious. As we speaking, someone's dying. Right now, someone's dying. Do I keep having to tell you guys that? Listen, I'm trying to coach y'all up the right way, because as a youngin, when I was real young and didn't understand it, I had to seek this out. Listen, I had grown men and women that had to lead me and my family to understand it, because they were teaching me. I feel bad for people that didn't have real adults and real leadership. It's sad, because you had a lot of lames around you who didn't read or didn't know God. That's sad. And really, you need to pray to God and ask him to please lead you somewhere, because I know it's not fair, but you as an adult had your chance to find God. You had it. You chose not to. So when you die and you get thrown in hell, just burn, okay? That's what listen to me. To you guys that want nothing to do with God, burn in silence. But I'm going to tell you, you won't burn in silence, because no one is in hell right now. They're not burning in silence. They're screaming because it's so painful, because they're burning. Their skin's hanging off. Worms are all over them, eating their flesh. They're getting beaten. It's not a game. These dudes are stupid. I'm sorry. That's what it is. They're dumb. They don't understand because they don't read. These dudes probably didn't read for a research report. Like, they barely did their schoolwork. So they're dumb. They just don't know what to do with themselves. They're lost. A lot of these dudes are lost niggas. That's a fact. Lost niggas. That's all that's be around. They're lost. They're just lost. That's why hell is why the gates of hell are huge, because so many people are just going to go there because they're going to be partying, drinking, just going into hell, dancing in the hell till they start burning. They're like, it's so hot here, and they're like, wait, and then they realize they're never leaving. So then it dawns on them, this is my life now. Yes, because you did wickedness and you did not seek out God. You got to find God. Listen, you got to read this book. If you chose not to read this book, just burn perfectly. Burn. Just burn. Go burn. That's all I'm saying. If you don't want to read and find out God, go burn. Okay? Burn. And you won't be able to do the toughest dude sitting there doing, I mean, Genghis Khan, you know he tried to be strong. He's like, he's screaming louder than anyone because these dudes are wicked and they don't want to know God. They don't want nothing to do with him. So he wants nothing to do with you. That's what I'm saying. Here's what's crazy. Because, listen, dudes are going to go to sleep. They're going to sleep and they're going to think they're going to wake up. This is what I'm saying. If you don't have God, there's a huge chance that you're not going to get what you think. They're thinking about tomorrow. God tells you focus on today because he says you don't even know if you're going to see tomorrow. And a lot of these dudes aren't because they woke up today. They're going to think they're going to see tomorrow 100%. Some of them are not. Some of them are going to die because they're godless. Satan is your leader. Your leader is Satan, okay? If Satan's leading you and Satan wants you gone, what's Satan going to do? He's going to try and take you out. And all they do is the work of Satan. So just go be with Satan. Dude, here's what I don't understand. Why are these guys clinging to life and you're demonic and you're godless? You want nothing to do with Jesus. So why won't they die? This is what listen, I'm trying to talk. I'm asking you guys this so I can explain it to you. If these dudes want nothing to do with Jesus, okay? And the whole purpose of us is being alive so we can serve God. Why don't they want to die? Think. Why? Because they know that's what awaits them. They know they did nothing right in life. They know, but instead of repenting, Acts 28:28, what do? Make every excuse in their mind to say, oh, I'm okay, I'm gonna be fine. But they're not. And they don't even realize they're not. You're not. Listen, I can tell you right now, for a fact, I've seen a couple people just within the past month pass away that I knew in the past. I can tell you for sure that they wanted nothing to do with God, and I'm almost certain that they got that wicked death. That's the problem, because I'm telling you a fact. So listen, to you dudes that don't want to listen to what I'm saying, God's going to play this video in front of your face before he throws you in hell. He's going to play it for you. Then he's throwing you in hell because I've been telling you guys and you're not listening. A lot of you aren't listening. And that's the funny thing. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. If you're not listening to me when I'm telling you, just burn. Go burn and just enjoy but you won't be able to do it in silence. Yo, I'm telling you, the strongest, most hardest man is going to be like, screaming like Home Alone because it's going to be too much. He tells you in scripture, it's literally a place made to torture the devil. If there's a place made to torture the devil, how can you withstand it? It was made to torture a spirit of the devil, the demonic creature, not you. But you don't want to get saved. You want to be in the midst of all this wickedness. You guys want to do whatever and do nothing that God says. Listen to me. Find Jesus Christ. It's very important. Listen, Vince McMahon, it's over now. All those millions he had, what is he going to do with himself now? What now? What does Vince McMahon do now? It's over. He's literally, it's done. It's finished. His money, everything. You don't think he's going to get sued for being in the midst of this? All that WWE clout is going to mean nothing. When he's in prison, he's just going to be another dude fighting for his food, fighting, protecting himself, protecting his buns, like fighting to keep dudes from trying to take advantage of him. His life is changed. He's going from a millionaire lifestyle to being in prison. But then, they give slaps on the wrist and try to say, oh, home arrest. Listen to me. When crimes like this happen, especially of this nature, there are so many other guilty celebrity parties. Understand he's not alone. And it may shock you when you see everybody who's involved. Oh my goodness, the devil